flies open with a metallic squeal. A one-armed skeleton clad in a pristine coat unfolds himself from inside the chest. He rolls his neck, aligning spine and skull in a long, crackling chorus.
Speak. Captain Sex Zapper, slaver of the seas, servant of the Source King. Thank you for your help, do I? Now, I'll thank you for your life. Rise, ye dogs! Take this fish to the filleter! Your death is beneath my notice. Rise and be worthy.
Will you sink or float?
I'd say we should stop to talk, but I'm swamped.
The jar before you may have looked opulent once, but no longer. Now it's covered in grime, its paint chipped away, and its jewels long stolen. The soul jar rocks slightly, light flashing from underneath its lid. On its rim, you can just barely make out the name Gratiana. As soon as you touch the jar's cracked surface, you see a vision of splendor. Silks, fine food, and decadent lechery. But underneath it all lies bone and blood. The vision shifts. You see burning villages, slaughtered women and children. You see her, purging wand in hand, standing amongst it all. She throws her head back and laughter echoes in your skull. A shadow falls across her, and you see a large, weeping face. She reaches out as if to comfort, but Brachus drags her back. You see her fall into the mire of the swamp, trapped. As you pull your hand away, you can feel a deep, longing sadness in your soul. Is it regret, or just sadness for a life that used to be?
Lucky find.
A soul jar rests between two fallen columns, emanating a faint odor of seaweed and timber. When you touch the glass, your vision wavers. You emerge on the prow of a fine ship. Your armor pulses with enchantment, dominating those who draw near. Your flag flies for Brachus Rex, a tyrant who traded for your soul. With his power, your flesh and blood is no longer relevant. The vision fades as the soul thrashes, trying to sever your connection. In the end, greed masters you. You seek out the tyrant's vault to retrieve your soul, but Brachus is ready with a trap. Thus imprisoned, you can only dream about what is out of reach, your soul and that alluring armor. The vision shatters as the soul squirms away from you, curling up in the bottom of the jar. The soul jar pulses with trapped life force.
Good find.
The soul jar stands on its plinth, glowing softly. From within, you can almost hear the whisper of a voice. You see, or rather, you feel a far-off land. Frozen breath hangs in the air, pine needles brush your cheeks, and in your arms you can feel a weight. A body, dead. But you have hope. Your vision swims. You're older, but perhaps not wiser. You march at the head of a shambling host, the enemies of Brachus Rex melting before you. The scene twists again. Now Brachus stands before you, a beautiful woman at his side. You lash out in treasonous rage, but cold arms bind you. You're sealed away in a tower. Your screams fill the darkness. You feel a jolt and open your eyes to see the soul jar before you, lying still in the vault. Your hand falls from the jar and grips the pillar as you try to calm your ragged breathing.
Lucky find.
The jar on the plinth before you seems ancient, but is in surprisingly good condition. It's covered in pictograms that you can't understand, but you're sure you just saw one of them move. The pictograms spin to life, and you're dragged into a dream. You see the lizards of the ancient empire turning their backs on you, casting you out into the wilderness. As you roam, the human apes turn away from you, all but one. One smiles, one opens his arms, one says he'll take you home. Brachus Rex. He promises power for a price. He picks off your golden scales, one by one, stripping you down to the bone. He promised you a crown, but all you got was shackles. You try to fight, try to reclaim what's yours, but a woman takes you by the hand and leads you to a tower. He promised he'd take me home, you cry. You are home, she smiles as she seals the door. This is where you belong. Your hand drops away from the soul jar, your skin prickling. In the back of your mind, you hear a small, scared voice whimper before fading to nothing.
Nice.
This jar glitters and glows. From within, you think you can make out the distant sound of laughter. With a jerk, your mind is pulled to a scene in a tavern. You see a dwarf in the center of the room, joking us all around roar with laughter. All bar the zombies, who are slavishly serving food and drink. The door opens, and a tall, beautiful woman stalks into the room. She's flanked by heavily armed guards. You can't make out her words, but see the fear in the dwarf's eyes. The dwarf mutters a word, and the undead lurch towards the intruder, but are cut down like wheat. The dwarf tries to run, pushing her friends into the woman's path, but is grabbed before she can escape. As she's dragged away to a tower, you hear her cursing Brachus Rex and his whore. Even when she's thrown inside and the door sealed, you can still hear her shouts. You pull your hand away from the jar, your head swimming. You can feel the dwarf's cold terror still twisting in your gut.
Nice. Now is not the time for that.
Glory is mine. Farewell.
My beautiful young one, thank you. Oh, time of death. My death waits.
I heard something. Something seemed to move into place. Rubbish.
You approach a decrepit well and stare down into its toothless black mouth. No sooner has your head crossed the rim than weak voices begin to echo from the depths.
Thirst, dry throats, drink, water, water.
The well remains as dark. The well is now filled to the brim with fresh, cool water, but what it has brought to the surface quickly evaporates any wish you may have had to quench your own thirst. You see the tangled remains of 3 corpses, a mixed mass of bones and skin from which 3 skulls protrude. They address you in unison, their voices a drone-like blend.
We thank you for the water. We bless you for the water. We thank you for the end of torment. A horror, yes. To die of thirst, forever. To find hell at the bottom of the well. The king, Brachus Rex, the madman with the crown. Wrath and terror. We displeased the king. The truth we spoke. His fortune told. No divinity would he be. And so he entangled our bodies and cursed our throats. Smote the brothers of Baladur. We thank you for the water. We bless you for the water. We ask you for a fare. The fare, the toll, the levy. The people of Baladur must be buried with coin. Coin for the pathkeeper that leads the dead to the kingdom beyond. Spare us coin. Grant us coin. The more you pay, the further the pathkeeper takes us. Sweet Savior, friend of death and fiend of life, how much will you give? We thank you again. We bless you again. The wealth of the depths is yours. Pathkeeper, keep us. Pathkeeper, guide us. To the long-awaited kingdom we will go.
Laden with the burden of the coin you gave them, the brothers of Baladur sink back to the bottom of the well. Whether they will find their kingdom or languish in the dark, wet depths forever, you cannot foretell.
You don't look lost at all. Sarcastic me? Not at all. I'd never be sarcastic me. Oh, no, not in the least. I do not. I sound perfectly normal. Obviously.
The rat gives you a desperate look. Help me. The rat opens its mouth to speak. Can't say anything. So it nods its head, then shakes its head, then nods it again. The rat tries to nod its head and fails. It tries to shake its head and fails. Its head ends up doing a strange, jerking diagonal movement that could mean anything.
This is not frustrating, and you are not a clever creature, not having rumbled my quandary. Get me? Physical.
It makes a face that says, "Understand?" The rat gives you a grave and meaningful look, inviting you to listen carefully.
I don't think the problem is in my head, and further to that, I don't think the problem could be unscrambled by the use of sauce. I can categorically state that a short, sharp shock with something of a magical persuasion would absolutely not solve my problem immediately. And I do not invite you to look at the subtext in what I just said.
The rat gives you a long stare that tries and fails to say, "Of course not." The rat breathes a long sigh of relief, closes its eyes, and steels itself for what's coming.
You still don't look lost.
He looks at you as if to say, "Well, duh."
Careful now. That's a trap.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
You still don't look lost.
He looks at you as if to say, "Well, duh."
You have done me a great service. Now, allow me to help you. The source barrier that blocks your way. I still have enough power to allow you entry. It shall be done, then.
won't budge.
Too heavy. It's been cursed.
Among the long-crumbled remains of the temple that must have once sheltered his shrine, the stone effigy of a god seems to invite you to put your hands in his. You approach the still body and see its nostrils flaring. Long dead eyes rise to meet yours. As you lean in close, it lurches forward. Its arms thrash against the cage bars as it tries to reach you. Looks like it hasn't been fed in a very long time. The heavy gauntlets are cold to the touch. A prickle travels up the back of your neck, warning that you're being watched. Flickers of memory fill your mind. You long for solitude. The subtle scent of parchment wrinkles your nose. Fresh ink stains your fingertips. The memory vanishes, burned away by heat. Ash falls from the sky as a growling whisper addresses you.
I see you. And inside you is the strength I've been looking for. Patience. You must prove yourself worthy of such answers. You must find that place of longing in the home of a young scholar. I will draw strength from there to speak again.
As the heat around you fades, the desperate memory returns. It claws at you, trying to take hold, then slips away completely.
Bracchus Rex, we should tread gingerly.
What is this contraption?
Before you stands an ancient shrine, runes carved deep into its rock. The runes are in no language you understand or recognize. The shrine seems completely inert. You feel the source inside you swell up, filling your chest, yearning to be free. Your power flows from your chest and into your hands, green tendrils of power slithering from your fingertips across the shrine. The shrine starts to vibrate and glow, slabs of stone gliding across each other as it begins to open.
Lucky find. It's been cursed.
Bloody ring. It's loose. Get off me and stay off.
Flames are extinguished. Thank you.
Yes.
The menacing skeletal guardian looks at you wearily, then yawns.
So you dare defy the will of Bracchus Rex, prepare to die, and so on and so forth. Let's get this over with. Not a fan of lizards, are we? That'll soon pass. The dead don't discriminate. I hope this brings the discussion to an end. I don't like being roused from slumber, only to be greeted by such banality. I was a loyal servant of the Source King. I carry out his will in death as in life, and all that sort of thing. Now, can we get down to the fighting? I was enjoying a lovely dirt nap before you helped those heretical pigs. It is not my place to question Brachus Rex's will. I am to execute those who defy his legacy. Besides, there are far worse fates Brachus Rex could have visited upon you. This island itself is proof enough of that, I dare say.
She moans impatiently and taps her bony foot.
Brachus Rex concocted all manner of devices to use against his foes. I don't expect that all of them remain where he left them. Now, let's get down to business. All this talking exhausts me.
Extinguished. Thank you.
A moment's pause. I had thought us too wicked for rest. Unless you love the idea of a life knee-deep in swamp water, I suggest we look for a ship. So they are. My arms are gravestones, many a lost soul's last rest. One day I'll know who they were, the ones on my right arm. And one day, they'll all be dead, the ones on my left. They are the ones I was forced to kill. I don't know why. I can't recall. But I kept their names, and with their names, I will honor them. The Master. A lizard, but not any lizard. A spectre in the flesh, a man with no name. A darker shade in shadows. If he be a demon, as the frightened claim, I will be a demon hunter. If he be a god, as the cowering claim, I will be a godslayer. Until it is over, I will be nothing but vengeance. A day on the beach I'll be after.
She returns your smile, though you can read the skepticism in her eyes.
A lovely little promise to make. A thorny one to keep. We'll see how bloodied you're willing to get to pluck the one rose lost in a forest of daggers. Still, I do appreciate the sentiment. Those are the breadcrumbs, torn and tossed aside along the long road to the Master. They are inconsequential, candles snuffed out by a brighter flame, if I do say so myself. Hardly. I walked up to the quay, asked for the ship to Fort Joy, and declared myself a sorcerer. I'm here to hunt, remember? Here to play a game of tic-tac-terminate with a special certain someone.
One of her eyebrows arcs, like a cat arching its back, ready to scratch.
A touchy subject, I warn you. None. I served but the Master. The Master and none but he. Touchy subject. I did warn you.
Sabine looks at the flask with surprise, but accepts it with a nod and takes a long draught.
My word, warms the heart and everything else besides. Thank you. I needed a bit of good cheer. So, cheers.
And there goes the rest of your bottle.
I must say, I was hoping to enjoy a smug advantage over everyone else. Lacking skin may make me a target for mortals, but I am mercifully immune to mosquitoes. However, they are infuriating when they get in one's skull. I can barely hear myself think. Given enough time, I could walk from this island to the shore, but time is in short supply. I must procure a quick way off this island, and that means procuring a ship. While there are certain unsightly bulges in your clothing, I doubt you are hiding an entire boat in there. It seems supporting the Seekers in their fight to take the Lady Vengeance is the path to follow. Ah, this is perhaps the first intelligent question you have asked. After all, one should always try to learn from one's betters. My people are a race far beyond anything that exists in the world today. We seek to master the secrets of the universe. We craft wonders to last through the ages, long after your crude tools have rusted to nothing. I do not know. There are rumors that some have been found at the Black Pits, an oil field on Reaper's Coast. I was trying to uncover the truth when I was waylaid by these magisters. But wherever the artifacts of my people are, I will find them. We have not simply vanished into thin air. There is a great variety among our people. Some are tall and lithe, others short and muscled. Some come in a variety of eye-catching colors. Others you can barely see at all. This is what makes you such an abomination, you see. You look almost exactly like every other lizard out there, just as every human looks like every other human. Walking through this world is as repulsively bland as staring at a wall for a century. After a while, the very sight of you disgusts me. No offense, of course. No, I should not. Not yet. Not until I know what truly befell my people. And, after all, I am still here, despite the Voidwoken's best efforts. Well, of course it is. It was crafted with care. 100% ethically harvested from mortals, too. The quality is second to none. Oh, you simply wait until the creature is dead, preferably of natural causes. Although that does limit your choices somewhat. You may end up with quite a few sagging faces. I will never understand why you have so readily accepted aging, or digestion. They are frightful pastimes. Up to a point, certainly. They are frightfully loud, but the selection afterwards is quite good. The faces are often what you might call fixer-uppers, but they're young and quite serviceable, if you get them before the flies do. Poison is preferred, of course. No marks to the face, the subject can be of any age, and death is often quite of course, but it's significantly more relaxing for me. Ignorant! I dare say I have a better knowledge of this world than any creature living in it. Oh, I may be missing some social mores or be unaware of what king waged which war, but why nitpick? Your history is an interminably dull list of mortals that were born, achieved nothing of worth, and then died. Certainly one may have expanded his kingdom, or another invented some way of pickling fish, but what does it matter? Where will your kingdoms be in 100 years? In 1,000? They will all be dust, along with each and every one of your great heroes. Your people and nations come and go, mayflies screaming their importance at a universe that cannot listen. But the universe is always there. The laws that govern your states change over centuries, but the laws of the world... Even when my people walked this land, a dropped apple still fell to the ground. I have yet to see the mortal king that can decree all apples must fall up from their trees, or order fire to produce cold instead of heat. No, these laws stretch to infinity. Understanding them lets you understand the world. That is knowledge worth having. Everything else is arguing over who has built the prettiest sandcastle as the waves creep closer. I fell victim to the enemy of all great minds. Fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of change. These are the things that poison civilizations. I was on the cusp of a glorious breakthrough, but my king's fear held me back. I discovered a veil hanging across the universe, a barrier of pure source. It was amazing. The kind of discovery on which a civilization turns. Who knows what secrets may have been hidden behind that curtain? But my king forbade me from further investigation. Do you know, I never thought to ask, between him purging me and casting me into a traitor's tomb. What a foolish oversight! If only I'd had your prescience and curiosity, I could have saved myself centuries of pondering that very question. I mean, yes, I suppose you could have drained the power from it, but that would have weakened it significantly. It would be quite irresponsible. After all, the power of the thing is not the point. It hid something. Who knows what that might have been? The secrets to the universe could have lain behind that curtain, but I was not given the chance to find out. Now, I fear I never will. Well, certainly he was not pleased with my insistence that we investigate, but the king's word is law. Was law. But the reason I was purged was slightly less intellectual. After the king refused to let me investigate the Veil, I brought the issue up with others. The Seven Lords, beneath the king in authority, but far above me. I brought them my research. I showed them everything. I had hoped they would help me convince the king of his error, but before they or I could act, I was arrested and... well, my sentence was carried out. He ceased to be my king the moment he turned on me. I did nothing wrong. All I wanted was to further the knowledge of the Eternals. Who knows? Had I been allowed to continue my studies, perhaps I could have warded off whatever catastrophe befell them.
I'd say we should stop to talk, but I'm swamped. Don't make much of it one way or the other, but the farther we get away from the joy, the better. There's got to be a way off this island. Sure thing, Chief. What's up?
She bats her eyelashes coquettishly over black eyes in grey sockets.
Just for you, Chief. Okay. I don't. Look, I know it was bad, okay? I know. You don't have to tell me. I'm sorry. I just want to move on.
We've already had our little chat.
She hides her joy behind a cool look.
Well then, you have done us a service. I must find the others and get the hell off this goddamned island. I suggest you do the same.
With a nod of respect, she turns to leave.
is you! What? No, that's not what I meant. You don't remember me? I can't tell you how grateful I am for your kindness. Now I'm just trying to get used to life as a pig. It's not so easy. I never did enjoy truffles. Well, I can trace it all back to Brachus Rex, of course. Many of us opposed his reign. Few dared to speak against him, though. A few of us wizards took the chance, though. We figured if we spread the word of his deeds, we might encourage enough people to come together, find a way to take him down. But we underestimated the cowardice of our comrades. All we succeeded in doing was being branded heretics and brought to Brachus Rex's court. The results were horrifying. A double curse, turned into pigs and set aflame for eternity. I like not being on fire, so I don't want to complain too much about the pig part. I'm afraid I've never pursued knowledge so dark. Brachus Rex's source talents were great, but some of his skills and devices were unfathomable. How he came by them, I can't say. I'm not sure. I have prayed to Armadia, but she offers no answers. What wonderful news! If there's a shrine to Armadia there, I may return to my old self just yet. I'll head that way now. I hope to see you there.
The ancient wooden door reeks of salt and seaweed. Not a single nick or gouge mars the detailed face carved across its surface. It also has no lock or handle, but when you run your fingers across the wood, the carved face comes to life.
This ship has the claim of the captain. Unless you belong to Sec Zappa, I suggest you leave. Slaver of the Seas. Think he picked that name out of a lucky bag? Well, since you are so polite-like, no. Nice try, you dope.
The ancient wooden door reeks of salt and seaweed. Not a single nick or gouge mars the detailed face carved across its surface. It also has no lock.
This ship has the claim of the captain. Well, since you are so polite-like, no. Nice try, you dope.
Smoke, blood, carnage. The Magisters didn't spare a single seeker.
Not without stronger weapons than these.
We'll find them. We'll find another way.
Oh, you found the supplies. The Magisters aren't as thorough as I presumed.
You cannot stand against the Shriekers. Not without
If I were you, I'd stay close to Sir Gareth once the fighting begins.
We'll find them.
Whatever
We'll find
path
another
he
way.
takes will be the surest way to victory.
You would attack the Magisters directly? Are you so eager to die, Seeker? You cannot stand against the Shriekers. Not without stronger weapons than these.
We'll find them, or we'll find another way.
Battleneers, good to have you with us. Leia is safe back at the shelter, thank the Divine. She's not up to facing the Magisters again. Not now.
Are you so eager to die, Seeker?
Kerban stares at the body of his dead comrade, tightly gripping his weapon in a cold fury.
2 Magisters will die for every fallen Seeker here if I have any say in the matter.
You would attack the Magisters directly? Are you so eager to die, Seeker? You cannot stand against the Shriekers. Not without stronger weapons than...
We'll find them.
Amidst the placid little pond, the face of a goddess lies half submerged in the water. Rivulets stream from her deep-set eyes like endless cascades of sunlit tears. You feel peaceful in her presence, soothed somehow by an intangible comfort. As you gaze upon her loving face, you find yourself drawn into a trance-like state. A voice seems to reach you from within your mind and from the furthest reaches of the stars. Its whispers caress you like a breeze. The voice grows to whispers become words.
My children, my children. Gone are my children. Dead are they in the cradle I have wrought.
Her hold tightens and slips in waves, wavering between indignation and curiosity.
My child, weep with me for the mother who has lost. Weep with me and bathe in the tears of Amadia.
You feel the goddess's presence surround you, feel her nestle you tenderly like a mother. The intensity of her embrace deepens. Never since the unremembered days of childhood have you been so enveloped in maternal safety.
My child, I love you. My own, my own. I will guard you. Wander where you will, and cherish the kiss of Amardia.
As suddenly as it came, the voice is gone, and you wake from its presence as if from dream-filled slumber. The pond now shines with an inner light, and standing in its waters, you feel rejuvenated, pure, as if born anew.
I'm failing!
It's quite beautiful here, but I'm afraid my journey to the sanctuary might have been in vain. I've prayed to Amardia real hard, but I'm not sure it's done much good. Oh, what a grand idea! I'll try that. What's the worst that could happen? Amardia, you have heard my prayers.
Well, hello. May you walk with Amardia.
Oh, I'm a wizard. And I was a long time ago, too. In between, I was a pig. And I was on fire for most of that time. It's a long story, but I think I'll leave it in the past and look to the future instead. Bye now.
The others wouldn't let me join them for the fight. You should get moving, though. They'll need you at their side.
So, this is your place, Brachus? Can't say I like what you've done with the place. Can't say I like what you've done with the place.
Meet your maker.
I found something.
Good find. Lucky find.
Undead pirate gulps from a bottle, liquor spilling down his ribs. It settles in a dark, frothy puddle around his hip bones.
You're the one the captain said would be coming, eh? Well now, he took his prize and set off. Went back to the ship to put on the rest of his armour. Ha! Ain't no being owed a favour from Sex Zapper. Fact, he told me he thinks you'd make a great slave aboard the ship. He'll do it too, now he's got his armour back. Especially once I tells him you've been snooping around. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Well now, hold on a minute. Truth be told, Cap don't care if you find him or not. Got his full armour on now, done he? And only his soul jar can turn his head now. Ship's inside a cove not too far from here. You'll have to get past that mouthy door of his. But if you're sick of the rising sun, Cap'll make sure you never see another. Didn't you hear me on the first go-round? I be the guardian of me captain. Get out me sight. you bilge-drenched vermin!
The soul jar pulses with trapped life force. ancient wooden door reeks of salt and sea. It also has no lock or...
This ship has the claim of the captain. Well, since you are so polite-like, no!
A skeletal arm reaches upward, grasping at empty air. It lunges at you, violent fingers grasping only air. Now free, the arm thrashes furiously. It doesn't relent until wriggling out of your grasp. The arm hits the sand and goes rigid. Its wrist rotates like a compass needle, a single bony finger pointing toward... what?
Didn't you hear me on the first go-round? Beat us, break us, green, black sea. We are slaves, only to thee.
The door swings open with a creak. These once magnificent quarters have fallen into rotten disrepair. As your eyes adjust to the dark, you see Captain Sek Zapor, now gallantly dressed.
Why can't you just stop? I still have that account to settle, do we? Go on, give it here. Ye got some spirit of the learning sort. Me pride demands calling your bluff. So pray to your gods there's some truth in it. Rise, crew. End this! Snake! Worm! Glory is mine.
I'm ready.
I'm glad Han stayed behind. The boy's seen too much horror in his life already.
Those Magisters are gonna regret they ever laid eyes on us.
We'll find them. We'll find another way.
You would attack the Magisters directly. Are you so eager to die, Seeker? You cannot stand against the Shriekers, not without stronger weapons than these.
We'll find them, or we'll find another way.
Did you see what those Magisters did? Putting our dead on display like hunting trophies.
Way is safe back at the shelter, thank the Divine. She's not up to facing the Magisters again. Not...
You would attack the Magisters directly? Are you so eager
A
to
welcome
die?
ally. Lucian be praised.
Gareth glances out.
The Shriekers keep watch, and their gaze isn't the only one we should avoid. Fair enough.
If I were you, I'd stay close to Sir Gareth once the fighting begins. Whatever path he takes will be the surest way to victory.
You would attack the Magisters directly? Are you so eager to die, Seeker? You cannot stand against the Shriekers, not without stronger weapons than these.
We'll find them, or we'll find another way.
You would attack the Magisters directly?
Gratiana's head is bowed. From within her mask, you can hear the whispered words of a prayer. She falls silent, turning to face you.
It would be a sweet joy to see the Magisters chase. I fear all I will see today is death. You have? That's wonderful, of course. But tell me, did you see anything else? Did you find any soul jars? They are relics of great power. Please, you must give them to me. If I can make an offering of them to Armadia, it could aid your cause. Questions? There is no time for questions. Just give me the jars. It matters not. All that matters is that you give it to me. No. Stop! Wait!
She reaches up and tears off her mask, revealing a wet skull, stained by centuries. You stare into the empty eye sockets of the undead creature before you.
I have waited centuries, watching lives come and go, while my soul lies locked in a cage.
She reaches greedily for the jar, tearing the cap off. You see a green glowing light emerge from the jar, enveloping Gratiana.
By Armadia, I feel wet. Oh, Goddess, I can feel your tears upon my face. I suppose you deserve to know. Before I knew Armadia's grace, I was a very different person. I was the concubine of Brachus Rex. But more than his lover, I was his partner. I discovered his power to feed on the source of others, and I allowed it to... No, I made it happen. Not I. They are older than Brachus. Ancient relics from a bygone age. He uncovered them. I merely encouraged him to explore their promise. These weapons do not kill, but maim in the most horrible way. With them, you can steal the source of your enemies and make it your own. Yes, he drained the power of his enemies in battle, and then his political enemies at home, and then the slaves that displeased him. As his strength grew, so too did mine. There is nothing you cannot do when you sit on the lap of a powerful king. And I did it all. But power changes a man, as he changes his nation. Brachus grew paranoid, angry, murderous. I gave him more and more, trying to win him back to me. I offered him the source of whole villages. He devoured them and demanded more. The lands outside were once green and beautiful, until I came, until I turned them over to him. Now all's poison, and the dead are restless. Armadia is merciful in her love. I found this shrine while hunting a band of wizards. I found the goddess weeping for her children, and I wept too.
She pauses for a moment. If she had eyes, you're sure she'd be wiping them.
Through Armadia I saw my sins, and I could bear it no longer. I threw myself from the cliff at the entrance. I tried to rid the world of my evil, but Brachus would not allow it. He brought me back from the Hall of Echoes, locked my soul away, and demanded my obedience. Even in death, he commanded me. I spent far too little time there. It was a strange place, but there was peace. A peace I never knew before. Perhaps someday. For now, the world lies at my feet, and I have an eternity to see it, to praise Armadia's name. But first...
She drops the now empty soul jar to the ground, smashing it to pieces with her foot.
You have my thanks, sister. Thank you for your wisdom and for your bravery. Go in Armadia's grace, friend.
That statue has a strange silhouette.
You notice a deep fissure beneath the statue's right hand. A chunk of stone falls from the statue. There's something hidden inside.
Good find.
Ah, it's been cursed. Ah, it's been cursed. Ah, it's been cursed. Ah, it's been cursed. Ah, the armor set is complete.
You've come. Lucian be praised.
Gareth glances over his shoulder, and his voice tightens.
The Shriekers keep watch, and their gaze isn't the only one we should avoid. The murderer is here, Alexander. The butcher's in the ruins, beyond the Shriekers, and he's not alone, as well he wouldn't be. The Order keeps its Godwoken leashed. Nothing, as long as those Shriekers stand. Get that purging wand and silence them. If I didn't know better, I'd think the gods themselves were your counsel. The helm of Brachus. What evils has this thing witnessed? It remains so powerful. No, this thing was birthed from a wicked era. What would Lucian say, seeing me confront one evil with another? Go, take down those Shriekers.
Shriekers. I'll never get used to them. Don't let it see you. Odd. My helmet seemed to stir just now. Icy flurries and the air thrums. Could it be Slade? Look, it's him! He has come, true to his word.
Praise be! You have silenced the Shriekers and cleared our way. Yet it seems I'm in need of you again, my friend. You have any more miracles in you? We've got a boat ready to row to the Lady Vengeance. But if Alexander sees us bobbing among the waves, we'll be shark chow. So we split up. I take the Seekers to the Lady Vengeance. You go to the ruins and keep Alexander busy. He'll be expecting a breeze. Show him that you're a hurricane. Are you ready? We've got right on our side. A greater ally than any sulking Geist or any whinging Magister.
He takes the news calmly. A moment passes as he calculates the consequences, assessing this new world as it opens up before him. He nods his thanks, then raises his voice.
Seekers, we move. You are Lucian's eyes and ears. You are his sword and his shield. Burn the blackness with your holy fire!
Not like her to be late. There you are. The escapee. I feared you'd made it to Reaper's Coast by now. Anyway, you're here now. You know, Dallas and Friedemann warned me about you. God-woken. I'm afraid your journey ends here. You would only bring ruin to Rivellon. If anyone is going to become the next Divine, it will be me. I have no illusions that history will look kindly upon me. My only goal is to guarantee that someone should survive to write such histories. I'm one of you, after all. Your collar is no tighter than my own. A fair point. I will never write liberty or justice on my shield. I fight only for survival. But this I will defend with my life. And your life. And the life of anyone who stands in the way of the continuance of our realm. Please, don't make this harder than it has to be. It's not your fault, but still you stand in the way of peace. This must be the end of your journey, for the salvation of all Rivellon. You stand no chance, but I admire your resilience. Give it your best shot. Now, your foul sorcery will be the death of us all.
for me.
Well, quite the mess you've made here. I'm Malady, and you're...
She steps forward, grabs you behind the neck with alarming strength, and pulls you close. She sniffs twice, her nose at your ear, then bites, piercing the lobe with a needle-sharp fang. She releases you and grins, running tongue over teeth.
God-woken. Do promise me you'll try, though I hope it doesn't come to that. You're a God-woken after all, the reason some of us get out of bed each morning. What do you make of that? Ah, of course. Too important to feel important. Very good. Well, first things first.
She peers at you closely, a knowing squint in her eye.
Tell me, which of those little gods did you meet? And what did they teach you?
Her eyes go wide.
Go on then. Show me what she taught you. I don't. Now go on. Perfect. You really are God-woken. I'm... happy. Oh, how unbecoming. Come then, we set sail, your destiny awaits, etc. You'll have to ask the Meister about that. She's dying to meet you.
Malady beckons you to the boat.
After you, darling. As you wish.
A moment's pause. I had thought us...
Yeah.